Should you talk to the police? Should you make any statements to law enforcement if you are being questioned? I would say for the most part, for most circumstances, be smart about it. There's a little more nuance to it. Recognize that the moment you start making statements to law enforcement, you are relinquishing a level of control because you're speaking to an entity who at best is impartial on the matter, doesn't have an interest in what your outcome is one way or another at best. A more prudent option would be, if you can, wait to speak with a lawyer, someone who has a professional business monetary interest in providing you with the best defense, right? Now, I have some knowledge on the matter, both firsthand and academic, due to the region I'm from. There's a certain 3-letter law enforcement agency that has some jurisdiction inland, and one morning a few years back, I had the good fortune of momentarily being placed under their care and protection due to a certain misunderstanding. They thought I could be culpable of a certain defense, and I was briefly deprived of certain liberties while they ascertained some facts and asked me some questions. Now, I was in a bit of a dilemma trying to get out of this because at the time I was about halfway through my criminal investigations degree. I had already taken interviews and interrogations. I knew what was going on when they Mirandized me. I knew I didn't have to make any statements. I knew I didn't have to say anything. I knew I could remain silent. In that particular set of circumstances, just from reading the room, reading the vibes, seeing where everyone's heads were at, I made the assessment, I made the peripheral calculation that I was only a few statements away from clarifying things, being like, hey guys, it's a misunderstanding, right? So I chose to provide some voluntary testimony despite the risks and exposure, because that's what it was. I knew that if things went sideways, I had all these statements that I had made that would be admissible in court, and I don't know what I said. I'm not a lawyer. And so in that case, it worked out because I wasn't culpable of anything. A few hours later, I went on about my day. It does change a bit if you are actually culpable, or if you think they think you did the thing you did. Yeah, maybe don't talk to the police. But even if you didn't do anything, it's so important to remember you don't have to say anything. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to prove that you didn't do it. They have to prove that you did beyond a reasonable doubt in criminal cases. Now, an important caveat to note, and this could be an uncomfortable truth, that yes, you can absolutely bunker down and make that decision to, hey, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to cooperate. I want a lawyer. That's your right, and that's a move that you can make. Law enforcement has their own set of moves that they can also make. One of them being they can absolutely turn that dial of the level or quality of hospitality they are providing when they have you, right? Now, you can absolutely make a strong argument for whether or not that should be the case. At the end of the day, though, I think you'll get hit with a reality check. So that's something to remember. At the end of the day, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to make any statements. Wait to speak with a lawyer. You don't have to defend yourself.